Hey guys, so a lot of runners that come in because of an injury get really worried that they're going to lose their cardiovascular endurance because they can't run. Well, what does the research say about what you need to do in order to maintain that endurance? It actually says you don't need to do near as much as you needed to build your endurance, which is great news. So let's dig into that a little bit deeper. If we think about three different variables about your runs spread out across the week, we could be looking at what's the duration of any given run, what's the frequency of those runs throughout the week, and what's the intensity of those runs. Well, the research shows that that third one, intensity, kind of has to stay the same for you to maintain the endurance that you've built. But the other two, the duration and the frequency, can be played around with. They can reduce quite a bit, and you can still maintain all of that endurance. It can be reduced to the point of, say, you were running 6 days a week. You could be running 2 days a week for the same amount of time that you were previously at the same intensity or maybe slightly higher to maintain that endurance. Or you could still be doing 6 runs a week, but you could cut them down by two-thirds to as little as 15 minutes at that higher intensity and still maintain your endurance. So tangentially, this is really great news. If you just don't have the time to get in those 6 runs throughout the week, you can adjust your schedule for a week and your schedule is not completely destroyed because the week looked different. But back to that injury scenario. I know what you're thinking. If I've got an injury that I can't run because of, it doesn't do me a whole lot of good to change how frequently I'm running or the duration that I'm running for because I'm not running. So, what are the other options? You could be doing some really hard intervals on the bike or a rower. You could be picking up some kettlebells and doing farmer's carry intervals. You could be doing Tabata sets of air squats or goblet squats. There's a whole lot of different things that you could be doing as long as it's intense. As long as your heart rate's getting up, as long as your breathing's getting up, it's going to help maintain your cardiovascular endurance. So here's what it doesn't mean. Say it took you 6 runs a week over the course of 10 weeks to build your endurance to the place that it's at. It does not mean that you could do 2 workouts a week for those 10 weeks, but just really intense and get to the same spot. It also doesn't mean that higher intensity is always better. It doesn't mean that those 6 workouts should be as intense as you can possibly handle because more is going to give you more. That's a recipe for burnout. If you've got questions about what your training should look like, whether you're injured or not, let's talk.